Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit that notification bell, get all the updates. What did I say for today's video? So it's Thursday, and sometimes on Thursdays I do Thursday's Thirsty Thoughts, where I try to come up with a topic that's hopefully engaging. You guys comment, we start a conversation, and it's the best because it's hard for me to do a lot of live streams. I love the interaction, and this is really rad. I'm actually filming this on a Thursday, and I'm super excited because when I'm done filming this, I'm actually going to go and start engaging with today's current topics as I'm filming current, which is super rad because there's already a bunch of people who weighed in on last week's topic. So I'm hoping the same thing happens this week because it does. It's really rad. It's the best part of this channel is interacting with people. So I was walking Bruno the other day and I was thinking about how I wanted to film another liquor review for a Tuesday video, and I'm like, maybe that might be interesting. If you watch this channel, I'm going to assume you like to drink beer like I do, right? But it's probably not the only thing you like to drink. So that's kind of this week's thought is, or question is, besides beer, what gets you excited? What do you like to drink? And I'm thinking alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. So I'll start with non-alcoholic beverages. If you watch the channel a lot, I've posted a few coffee reviews, or if I do a beer that has coffee, I probably talk about how much I like drinking coffee. I do love the taste of just regular coffee. Sometimes on weekends I might, add some sweetener and whatever, some almond milk or whatever. If I'm out at a coffee shop, I might get an espresso or a latte. So I definitely like coffee black, but every once in a while I'll do a little bit extra. I like almost every kind of tea I've ever tried, caffeinated and uncaffeinated. The only one I can think of I was not a fan of when I was able to visit China for 2 weeks with an exchange program that I chaperoned. They were really proud of it. It was this Pu'er tea. I believe it's P-U-R. And they were like, oh yeah, this one has been aged for, the longer it was aged, the more special it was. And they would tell stories of when my child was born, we bought some, and then we aged it until they got married, and then we made the tea, so it's decades old. And I couldn't get into it. I tried many different kinds, many different age lengths, and because I was gifted so many, I'm like, this just isn't for me. But other than that, green tea, black tea, chamomile, some of the blends that different places make. So I'm definitely a huge tea fan. I don't drink a ton of soda. Every once in a while, if I'm at a place that has a soda fountain, I might get a root beer. That's kind of my only soda guilty pleasure. And I drink a crap ton of plain, boring water. I drink a ton of water every day, and I like water, and I definitely drink a lot of it. In terms of the alcohol side, besides beer, every once in a while I do just relatively straight, maybe with an ice cube, usually at least with a little bit of water, some sort of a bourbon. I do like a nice cocktail. If I'm at a wedding that has an open bar, I'm doing gin and tonic. Sometimes I buy stuff to make gin and tonics at the house. Mojitos are another favorite of mine. Sometimes the blended daiquiris if the weather is really hot. But I haven't done that in a couple years now I think about it. I'll have to fix that this summer. A good margarita I like quite a bit. So definitely some of that stuff. And then I haven't reviewed a ton of hard ciders on it. I also like not hard ciders. Forgot that one. But I'm local to Nine Pin Cidery, which I had their stuff before I moved to this area. And every once in a while, my wife and I will go. They have a relatively small but cool food menu. They do cool events. One time we brought Bruno, they were doing a Halloween dog dressing up kind of thing. I didn't dress Bruno up, but they were doing raffles to benefit different dog charities and animal rescue stuff. So that was really cool, and they do flights of all their different ciders, and then they have a special program that I have not joined, but you can get access to even different ones that are barrel aged and stuff. They do keep some beer on draft as well for those who want to do that while they're there. So I don't buy it for the house really ever, but every once in a while I'm in the mood, or both of us are in the mood for to head down that way. They have a nice little patio, all that stuff. We do a CSA box every 2 weeks. I go and get vegetables, herbs, things like that are locally grown, and the pickup is at Nine Pin Cidery. So then sometimes I'll stay and grab a cider, depending on how much time I have. So that's definitely one that I think if you watch the channel you might not know about me. Wine, sometimes I love port. I very rarely drink it just because my wife doesn't really like it. But I love port. So anytime I get an opportunity to have some, I definitely jump on that. Other than that, it's pretty easy to please my palate for wine. There's a one style, it's Gewürztraminer, something like that. And the first time I had it, they really sold it well. We're on a wine tour, some buddies of mine and myself. And they're like, hey, who are my beer people? Who likes a nice pale ale? And I'm like, what? Okay. I'm like, I didn't know it was like one of those wineries / breweries. I'm like, yeah, I love pale ales. And he's like, hey, try this wine. And not that it was straight pale ale, but like it had enough elements that if you like pale ales, it made sense that you would maybe like this wine. That was really cool. So I've definitely bought some bottles of that style after that. But yeah, that's kind of it. Like, the thing I drink the most is water, and then pretty decent cup of coffee in the morning, maybe some tea in the afternoon, my daily beer, and every once in a while, maybe after the beer, a second beer, which is pretty rare, or maybe like a little pour of this, or instead of a beer, maybe we make cocktails. And let me end on this one. We got this actually at Dogfish Head when we went for our anniversary. We went to, because they also do a distillery, we went to one of their restaurants and they did flights of different kinds of Moscow mules, and my wife and I looked at each other like, these are really good. Like, apparently we love Moscow mules. So that's kind of like, if we're gonna have that's the most frequent cocktail since that happened that my wife and I make at the house. So there's a little bit about me, but this is not about just me. I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. What are stuff that you guys imbibe on that's beverage, non-alcoholic and or alcoholic besides beer? Beer's a given. We talk about that all the time. I want the other stuff. Comment section below. Let's get those conversations going. Once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.